YouTube, what the crap's going on? Volkmar here, and I'm going to be showing you a battle that came from my stream last night. This is up against Chosen of the Norns from the Han clan, and I've played folks from the Han clan in the past, many of them quite skilled at the game, so I was expecting a tough matchup here. And some people have asked me not to do this, but I kind of have to for this battle because it gets started so fast. I'm going to put it in slow motion here just to give you the armies. I've got 2 Empire Knights, 2 Pistoliers, they were Vanguard deployed. I have a Huntsman Vanguard deployed, Volkmar, 4 Flagellants, 1 Sigmar Sun, a Spearman, and a Bright Wizard on a Pegasus with Fireball and Burning Head. My opponent, and it's really him that I want to focus on here because I love the army pick that he's taken against the Empire. He's got a Khazrak, the One-Eye, on his chariot. He is supported by 3 Razorgor chariots, and then 3 Centaurs with great weapons, a Pig Herd over here with the Razorgor Herd, a Brave Shaman of Beast with a transformation of Chiton, and then also a Brave Shaman of Shadows with the Pendulum. He has got the Eye of Morslib, which is a Cygor that has also this Warp Gaze ability that can stop a unit from moving. And then the only infantry he's brought are 3 Ungor Herd. And just quickly, again, my army is designed against not an entire infantry beastman build, but a more infantry-focused beastman build. My thinking was, oh, the beastmen are going to know their infantry are superior in many cases, and so he'll probably bring plenty of infantry, so I brought plenty to counter his infantry, like an unbreakable infantry line, and some armored knights, a burning head, basically a few things, and then I brought an unbreakable steam tank along with it all. So my thought here was, bring stuff that he can't break, and then we'll be able to win this. You're going to see here, I'm going to put a quick charge in with the Empire Knights and then pull out of there because it's not a fight I want to stay in. My opponent, though, knows once he sees my army that he's got an excellent build for fighting me, and part of the reason that is because I can't stop his chariots. I can try to delay them with my Empire Knights, but because of their damage, I'm going to be in big trouble if I can't, basically terrorize these things right out of the fight, and with Khazrak right up on them, that is going to be difficult. It is going to be difficult. You can see I'm using my steam tank. I do get my Empire Knights in here, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to trap his chariots. If I can kill these things, I might have a chance to win. But I have to do it quickly, and he knows that too, and so he's going to send in his Centaurs with great weapons, and these guys are going to melt my Empire Knights like butter. And when these guys don't get countercharged by enemy cavalry, they do tremendous damage. So I have to commit the steam tank and try and bring the house here early. I've got Volkmar. I'm going to have to use his abilities. I'm a little bit late on those abilities right now because I was busy shooting a fireball at the Eye of Morslib. And here I'm going to finally use Volkmar's abilities. I should have used this earlier in the fight to help protect some of my guys while it was going on. And you can see that we just did not get much damage done. We did manage to rout 1 chariot. I was hoping to see a lot more of that. He pulled his Centaurs with great weapons out of the fight in order to allow them to cycle. And he's going to start going after my Flagellants, which are easily winning the fight against his few infantry unit. My Pistoliers, I've kind of been able to pull back, and I'm going to let them start doing some damage, but it's going to take time for them to get their damage done. And I lost both my Empire Knights, which was a big loss here for me early on. I had a Flagellant unit sitting still, and he's going to make me pay for it. I tried moving it at the last second, but it was just a bit too late. And so another nice play by Chosen of the Norns here. He's going to be running around, and look at this, just singling out a unit. So he saw a unit singled out over here, and he's going to take it out. So the Flagellant, which was doing good, is now doing rather poorly. And I'm running out of options to deal with this chariots. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to continually be shooting fireballs into the Eye of Morslib and try and kill it. I guess I could be shooting at Khazrak, and maybe should have been, but the Eye of Morslib is a big target. He's hard to miss, and should be relatively easy for me to do damage to. Again, my Pistoliers, right now they're firing at Razorgor Herds, firing at anything they can, just trying to get them close, do some damage, but now I'm in big trouble. Again, his chariots are on the loose. I do have my Huntsman back there, but I can no longer protect the Huntsman, so they're going to get chased down, because I've got nothing to keep him from doing these charges. At this point, having some Demigryph Knights would have been really good, or something, but you can't ever underestimate either Centaurs with great weapons. If they get used properly, where they don't take a big charge from something, even against really tough targets like a Demigryph Knight, or say like Karl Franz on Deathclaw, don't underestimate the damage that Centaurs with great weapons can cause. Their leadership and armor is pretty frail, but their damage potential is fantastic. Centaurs are probably some of the best light cavalry in the game, if not the best light cavalry in the game. They are very good and shouldn't be underestimated in their capacity. There's two variants of them. You're seeing the Great Weapon variant here. Look at that Bright Wizard. Really getting some nice damage done on the Eye of Morslib. The problem is my troops aren't going to be alive in order to have any benefit from it. So I'm getting his fireballs off on the Eye of Morslib as quickly as I can, and it's certainly helping. But like I said, I'm not sure that my troops will be alive. Volkmar is an anti-infantry machine, and right now he's having to fight against large. And it just doesn't suit him. Now, whenever things do get blobbed up, Volkmar can be pretty helpful. So like right here, I'm going to get a good soul fire off. So he can be quite helpful just up in a blob. I have a banishment, and I've been scared to use it because I don't have a great position, but at the same time, if I don't use it, I'm going to die. So I probably should have used the banishment earlier in the fight, even if it risks some friendly fire. I am about to use it here, and I will catch a few of his units. He tried to pull away from it, but his units are getting pulled back in. And I do manage to get some good damage done to his Centaurs with great weapons with that banishment. So that was pretty fortunate for me. Two of his chariots actually go out, and so I'm trying to control this fight, but there's just too many Beastmen tools left at this point. The Eye of Morslib, although very damaged from the constant effort of my Bright Wizard, he's still alive, and he's quite decent in a melee, and you can see that the summoned Manticore here is just free, free use too. He gets to summon it with the magic, and it causes extra damage. None of these units are particularly great against the steam tank, but put together, they're going to do quite well. They're going to do quite well indeed. You see Khazrak here. He also causes really good damage. My Pistoliers did not skirmish, even though they were set to do so, so I lose my Pistoliers, which, again, really bad for me. I had a Pistolier unit over here, which managed to get rid of some Centaurs with great weapons. That Pistolier unit, though, is nearly out of ammo and will have limited usefulness. I decided to pull my steam tank out of that fight, which was honestly probably a mistake, but at this point, I don't know if it matters. The Eye of Morslib is a lot closer to death, but won't be dead, and there's just too many things attacking the steam tank. It can't hold out. This was its purpose, though, was to cause terror and get into these blob fights. It's just not going to work out. I have to use the rest of my magic because I'm not going to get enough fireballs to use it at this point, so I used a Burning Head to try and cause just some desperation damage, but the tank is gone, and Volkmar is left unto his own in order to be massacred by the Beastmen. So for those of you who love a good Beastie Boy fight, you get to enjoy one here. A few things that I want to say about this battle. First off, great game to my opponent. Well picked, well played, good control, fun army, and a cool way to use some units of the Beastmen that probably go undernoticed by people, like the Razorgor chariots. Their use against the Empire infantry is a pretty cool one because they're going to be very effective against most Empire infantry. I think one of the risks that he could have come up against here would be something like Demigryph Knights, but I think his hope was if he could swarm in enough support, like with Khazrak in there, with the Manticores swooping in, with the Centaurs with great weapons maybe coming around to flank, that even something like a Demigryph Knight would end up not being particularly well spent in this situation. And so I don't know exactly how that would have played out. Obviously, a Demigryph Knight is very capable in battles against these units, but they also cost quite a bit more, and so you're not going to have as many of them. And so sometimes the swarming mechanic can work, and it definitely did work here. I couldn't stop his mass. He had too much mass. He's just plowing through me with the mass, and then that allowed him to get the damage done. And look, that damage was pretty evenly spread. Khazrak 103, Razorgor Chariot 87. This one didn't get quite as many, but it was still mostly alive by the end of the fight. This one picked up a Chevron. 75 kills 67 on the Razorgor Herds. So a nice spreading of the damage here. And, mid-50s to high 50s kills on all the Centaurs. So it was well played. It was well played. I had the wrong army here. This was the wrong army pick for taking on what he had. He must have either, one, just felt that this particular army could be good against multiple Empire builds, and it might be. I haven't tried it against a bunch of them, and he may know. I don't know. Or he managed to think through what I might pick and picked a good counter. So me bringing these lighter infantry units like Flagellants and State Troops plays right into the hands of this army, which is to be able to come in and single them out. And the fact that I didn't have Demigryph Knights and I had the Steam Tank instead. And again, the Steam Tank for me was more meant of being something late in a game with the Beastmen that would make it difficult for them to kill because it causes terror and can do some damage with the steam turret and from range. but it ended up being not what I need because the steam tank can only really be good against large units if it can sit back and shoot them. When it gets into a melee early with them, it's not ideal, and you're going to take a lot of damage that you can't really earn, or deserve, or what do you say? You can't afford. Sorry, I'm using the wrong words. The damage that you can't afford. So I would keep that in mind. Anyway, appreciate Chosen of the Norns and all the others who joined the stream last night. I had said during the stream that this is a video I wanted to show because I really liked his Beastman army. Thought it was creative, it was fun, it was fast, it really matches a Beastman theme, and it brings out Khazrak too. And so just really thought this was cool. That's mainly why I wanted to show it to you, even though I knew that he skull-drugged me here. But that's okay. Just because you lose a battle doesn't mean you should get upset about it. You should take, I think you should take some learnings from it. In this case, it was like, yep, definitely could have picked some stuff different here in order to face the Beastmen with my Empire army. Lesson learned. You know, what I thought was clever turned out to be not so clever at all. And, you know, it also highlights another important facet, I think, of Total War games, which is that your army pick makes a big difference in your ability to win a battle. And in this case, Han not only played well and controlled his troops well, because I'm not trying to say, oh, he won just off of an army pick. That's not true. He played well, he controlled his troop well, but he also picked well. And picking well is an important part of winning every battle. So that's another reason why I wanted to show this replay, to show when you pick well, it pays off. And I have some other battles from that same night I could show with myself playing where the army I picked ended up being quite good, and I may show some of those. But I felt like this one was a good example because I haven't had a Beastman Empire matchup in a long time, and it's a fun matchup. I should have brought Boris just for the lulz to have him fighting against Khazrak. That would have been great. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you all soon with some more Total War Warhammer 2 battle action.